This man slept with more than 1,600 men by dressing up as a woman, but his reason for doing this is just absurd. You see, this slithery, slimy snake of a man didn't really ask for money to sleep with these men. That would just be a regular case of paying for companionship. Plus, you don't really get a nickname like Red Uncle for being a regular old escort. Not unless you look like an old man and you frequently take your commitment to a medically concerning level. Anyways, before we get into the whys and hows of his misadventures, let's get to know him a little bit. Sister Hong, or Red Uncle, whose full name is, was a 38-year-old man living in Nanjing of China. In China, sex is still a highly taboo topic. It's rarely talked about openly, sex education is limited, and anything remotely explicit is heavily censored online. Our dearest Sister Hong is well aware of this information, so for the past few years, he had been running his own little work-from-home side hustle. Hong would put loads of makeup on to hide his tired eyes from crying every night from the guilt of being a lying little scammer. Then he would put on a dress and post pictures of himself on online dating platforms like, whatever this is, and pretended to be a married woman, the slick weasel. Now, there have been some speculations about why he chose to pose as married woman and not hot, young, and single. Well, for starters, he's not hot and young, only single, and secondly, he was intentionally going for men that had fantasies of being with a woman that's already taken, of which, apparently, are many.
You are dead, man! Fuck! Dead! Come here! Ah!
Now, as we all know, women like to invite random men in their home with the intention of hooking up with them, while asking for only vegetables, fruits, and basic amenities in return. So that's exactly what Hong did, since it's the most normal thing in the world, and somehow, 1,600+ men fell for it. Okay, but if I may set my 40-year-old Reddit user's edgy sarcasm aside for a sec, maybe it was indeed a smart thing, you know? Pose as a really poor, desperate housewife who's struggling to make ends meet and who would be down to leave nothing to the imagination in exchange for a watermelon. Genius! Regardless, these men would then swipe right on this bad bee and would then be invited to Hong's home to do the deed. In the clips that have been blowing up on TikTok and Twitter recently, we can see these men enter her home with vegetables or fast food in hand. Such kind souls. In many of the clips, we can see Hong asking the men nicely to get washed up, cause our pal Hong here is big on cleanliness. Even though he's engaged in one of the most dirtiest activity in the world, he likes to keep himself clean. So while his victims are cleaning up, he would proceed to check the goods out. Talking about the food here. Small gifts like veggies, cooking oil, fish, and other things. They almost looked like relatives visiting a sick patient in the hospital with their little gifts. Also, this probably helps with guys feeling like they did something, and they rightfully deserve something in return. After all, it shouldn't appear too easy, now should it? What these men were unaware of is that Hong has nicely planted a camera in the room, courtesy of which we're able to see this mess. Unfortunately for the guys though, their faces weren't blurred in the raw clip, but I'm a good guy. After they're done cleaning up, he would position them strategically in front of the camera and did not give them any time to think. He tries to keep the talking to the bare minimum during the encounter in order to avoid suspicion. I imagine it must get pretty tiring to keep one's voice nice and timid for a 38-year-old balding man, especially during the act itself. It would be pretty distorting to hear a manly groan out of nowhere while you think you're giving the best performance of your life to a married woman. Jesus Christ. I would honestly just scream like a Japanese high school anime girl. But yeah, I'm not even joking. In most clips, Hong just skips directly to the final base. Guess he knows his audience like to skip directly to the good part. But if you're like me and you're wondering how these men failed to notice there's something wrong down south, I would inform you that some of them actually did notice something wrong. In a lot of the clips, we can see men getting kinda suspicious of him. In this one, we can see a man realizing that the person in front of him is a man and was threatening to call the police. Hong keeps him quiet by showing him the face of Benjamin Franklin, or whoever this guy is, on the Chinese money. On the other hand, a lot of the men had accepted the fact that the person they're seeing was a man and had stopped caring. I like to think that most of these men were already in the closet to some extent, and Hong just gently called them out, or in some cases, Hong busted the lock and flung the men out of their closets, as some of them are seen making multiple appearances in the Hong files. Yes, many of the men returned for more, again and again. Now, I'm not going to pretend he was able to do this for so long, only because he lived in China, and everyone is so conservative and sexually repressed there. This would have absolutely worked in the Western world any day, 'cause men are dogs everywhere. It's so easy to lure us, it's crazy. We're lucky women prefer luring us digitally to their, extracurricular activity pages and not physically to their homes, otherwise we'd have a case of Sister Brittany and Sister Olivia every other block. Anywho, let's talk about how our beauty queen monetized his side venture. After Hong had recorded these men doing unspeakable things with him, he sold the clips online. He created an online group where he shared the clips to his members. You could become a member for the low price of 150 yen. That's about $20 US. So by the time these men were returning home, all satisfied with the service they got, there were other men gooning to their clips for $19.99. Hong's portfolio was so diversified, he could probably make it as a stockbroker. Teachers, students, bodybuilders, you name it, a lot of them good-looking too, which makes you wonder what exactly went wrong with these poor men's life to end up in the warm embrace of Uncle Red. I saw videos of some experts analyzing the clips, and they say that the idea of hooking up with a married woman is enticing to a lot of men, even the good-looking ones. And I agree. The promise of cheap, easy gratification always has the potential to send the lot of us drooling and crawling towards the spike trap, especially if it also fulfills your deep niche fantasy. But so much so that we'd go home with the red uncle? I'll leave that one up for debate. And just to remind you, not 20, not 500, Hong was able to get 1,600 men. That's not the ones he just texted or just had contact with. That's the amount of guys he sealed the deal with. That's gotta be a world record, or at least a close second. He eventually got arrested about a few months ago and became somewhat of an internet celebrity, to put it lightly. He became insanely famous. Hundreds of people started cosplaying as him on social media. There's an entire fictional Wikipedia fandom on him. It reads, iconic behaviors. Shapeshifting. It's unknown how Sister Hong was able to completely conceal her privates during their services and not be exposed as a crossdresser. It's supposed that she is able to simply shapeshift on the spot using forbidden magic. I somehow don't doubt it. There is even an augmented reality filter called the Sister Hong Filter Challenge on Instagram, so everybody can experience what it feels to be alone in a room with the red uncle. It probably feels terrifying. Some brands even used artificial intelligence to, quote, insert Sister Hong's likeness into mock advertisements, toy packaging, and parody posters for television dramas. So everyone and their mothers in China were talking about Sister Hong, as if the guy just made housing prices drop using his bare hands. But not everyone was enjoying this gossip. Not Hong, and certainly not his victims. You see, this black leather jacket guy was engaged, and when Hong broke the internet, his clips started floating around too, which eventually landed on his fiancée's social media. There is a screenshot from his literal fiancé on this Chinese social media app, and relax, I'm gonna help you out here. It reads something along the lines of, I showed my fiancé his viral clip and he went silent. I've notified both of our families, and I've went to the doctor to get tested. She ended up breaking up with him, for which I don't blame her. I mean, it must have been quite the feeling to find out your fiancé has been cheating on you with a 38-year-old dude. Oh, and remember I said she got tested? You see, a Chinese news outlet confirmed that 3 of the victims tested positive for HIV. Naturally, all of the victims started reconsidering their life choices, and the city of Nanjing helped with that by offering free HIV tests in the wake of Sister Hong wreaking havoc on the city. There's no official statement on whether Hong caused an HIV epidemic in Nanjing, but since 3 of the victims have been confirmed to have HIV, then that probably means Hong has it too, and by extension, a lot of his victims as well. Yikes. Anyways, by the end of this, 1,691 men had been conned and probably given STDs, while Uncle Red faces charges for deception, invasion of privacy, and illegal production and distribution of dirty material, cause it does so happen to be illegal in China. That's all I have to say about that. Consider subscribing to the channel. We keep this whole thing running using duct tape and false promises. Also, leave a comment and let me know if you would swipe right on Sister Hong. Personally, I prefer woman, and maybe femboys that can really sell the show.